Hi everybody. We wanted to put some information out there about finding help and support at Middlesex University if you're a first year student, undergrad, and you feel like you need some help to be able to talk something through, to be able to try and find some answers for yourself, or just because you're feeling low. And we've called this what makes it hard to ask for help, because sometimes it is really hard to recognise that you do need help and then to allow yourself to ask for it and to know where to find it. So my name is Simone Gold and I'm a member of the counselling service here at Middlesex.
My name's Ella Potter and I am a mental health advisor at the Counselling and Mental Health Service at Middlesex. So to start off, I think we need to set some ground rules. The first one is we need to make sure that anything discussed in this webinar is kept confidential and it's not shared with others. We have some respect for each other and we are not judging each other throughout the session. So first of all, it would be good to ask you guys some questions. The first one would be, what have you found difficult as a first year student at Middlesex University? And how did this difficulty make you feel? It would be good to have your feedback on these two questions.
There are issues that present students in general. We might think about, financial worries. We might think about juggling workload. But there are issues that might affect first year students in particular. And I think that's what we're thinking about today. Because when you make this change to becoming a student at university, perhaps moving away from home for the first time, becoming independent, there are many difficulties that might present themselves, or challenges that you might not have been aware of before, that you might feel more acutely as a first year, and then as your degree goes on you might get more used to it, more practiced, more resilient, but in your first year you might be particularly affected. So those are two questions that we thought it might be useful to ask. The sorts of issues that we thought might come up for you. Well, it's a big transition when you leave home and you have newfound independence, and that can be a fantastic thing and it can be really exciting, but obviously it can bring its challenges as well. It might make you feel quite vulnerable. It might make you feel aware of the skills that you have got and some of the skills that you haven't. So any transition can be difficult. It can be a positive, but it can bring some more difficult feelings as well. And if you've come from a school where you knew everybody, or a town where you'd lived your whole life, being a small fish in a big pond when you come to London and when you come to Middlesex University, which has thousands and thousands of students, can feel really difficult because suddenly you're anonymous.
Particularly as well if you're leaving your friends behind and you're moving away from your friends and your usual support network, it might feel quite isolating. It might be quite overwhelming meeting new people and making new friends.
Yeah, and it might be that if you had some issues, let's say for example, that you could be shy in certain situations when you were at home or growing up or at school, it might be that whereas you might have got quite good at dealing with that in your familiar environment, when you come to a new environment, sometimes these old issues that we think we've got a handle on, they can re-emerge and they can feel difficult for us again. And yeah, go on, Emma.
It might also mean as well that you're having to juggle university work with a social life and meeting new friends, and maybe having to do paid work as well to be able to live whilst you're studying at university, and that might be really difficult to juggle.
And let's be honest, sometimes it can be really hard to feel like you fit in, and particularly if you've come from a close friendship group where you're known and you're liked and people know your sense of humour and get you, it can be really hard sometimes to come to a new environment where you don't know anybody and find your place, find your squad, make friends. So loneliness can be a real problem when you first come.
And I think as well, as Simone was saying, you might have a mixture of feelings when you come to university. You might be very excited. It can be a very exciting time in our lives, but you also might feel quite nervous and worried about coming and what it's going to be like, and am I going to fit in? And that might be quite overwhelming, particularly at the start if you have moved away from home, and you are trying to embed yourself in university and make friends and try and find kind of a sense of where you are and who you are, I guess. And on top of that, the stress of kind of completing deadlines can be quite difficult. So I always think sometimes people underestimate how difficult it can be transitioning to university, and actually what a big change it is for you. So I guess that's why we wanted to help. So seeking help. Again, there's a couple of questions. It would be great if you could participate. We wanted to ask you, as a first year student, were there times you felt you wanted or needed help and support? If so, did you feel you knew where or how to find it? And what might have prevented you from seeking help or made it more difficult? Some questions to consider.
So if we think about what makes it hard for us to seek help, we've divided this into sort of two different areas. And one is sort of logistical difficulties, if you like. So not being entirely sure what help there is. And a lot of you may not be aware of the fact that there even is a counselling and mental health service here at Middlesex, that there's a team of people here whose job is to help you when you feel that you need support. There might be some concerns about whether or not people are going to know that you're coming, for counselling or mental health support. And that's one of the reasons why our building, Sunny Hill House, is set away from the rest of the campus, because it's nice and private, so that people feel that they can come without fear, because I think sometimes there is a fear of being seen and spotted. Now, we might wonder about that and the way in which perhaps coming for counselling is still stigmatised. Happily, there is so much more information and awareness of mental health issues and how we all need to talk and how it's good to talk, that we'd like to think that stigma has decreased. But it certainly may be that for some of us, the idea that we're feeling vulnerable, being known by our friends or our colleagues or our tutors, can feel embarrassing or even shameful. And I guess that links in with concerns that students have about confidentiality. Is what I say going to be kept confidential? Yes, it is. So everything that is said when you come to see a counsellor is confidential, unless we feel that there is a threat of harm to yourself or to another person, in which case we would speak to you about that first. It can be difficult to try and fit sessions into your timetable, so we try and accommodate that. So if you're worried that you just won't have the time to come, we will try and work around you wherever possible. And for some people, there's the logistics about travelling into uni in order to attend sessions. So again, we try to fit in with your timetable so that if you are already on campus, we might try and see you on a day when you're coming in for sessions. If you live nearby and it's not too much of a difficulty, we'll arrange that in a way that's convenient for you.
And also that you might feel embarrassed to come for help. You might, because of the stigma, you might feel that there's a big stigma attached to it, and therefore that's preventing you to come for help. You might also not recognise that you need help. You might not be sure what you need. You might feel shame coming here for help. There might be some cultural concerns, a lack of sense of entitlement. You might also be in fear of dependency. There's lots of different things that.
If we can just pick up on a couple of those, it might be that you feel you are being disloyal if you come and talk about issues surrounding your family, for example. And that's quite a common anxiety for some students, is that they feel in talking about members of their family that they are betraying confidences or betraying the people that they love or are closest to. We try to be really sensitive about that, and also about the notion that depending on your family and perhaps in some instances the cultural community that you're from, the idea of going and talking to a stranger feels like, about personal stuff, feels like a bit of a no-no. So we're very attuned to that. And also to the fact that you as an individual may feel you're not really entitled to come and take 50 minutes of somebody's time just to talk about yourself, and that it's somehow self-indulgent or selfish of you. And I think these can be things that make it hard for people as individuals to seek help, which is why we've divided the reasons into two. One is about the practical, where do I find the help? Is there even any help available? And one is much more about the stuff in us that keeps us from seeking help.
You might also want to consider what things do you know about yourself that you choose to keep hidden from others? Why do you choose to keep them hidden? Do you believe it's safer to keep those hidden than to disclose them? And moving on from that, we will explain a bit about Joe Harry's window.
Okay, so this is a kind of a way of understanding our blind spots and the bits that we keep sort of hidden from ourselves and others. So if we think about the part of us that we know about, we might describe ourselves in a certain way. We might say, I'm quite an extrovert, and other people know that about me. That's the public area of me that I know about and others know about. They see it and they hear it and they feel it. But then there's a part of me that I know about, that's my hidden area, that I don't necessarily let other people know about. So that might be, for example, although I'm an extrovert, there are times when I can feel really shy in certain situations. But if I choose to self-disclose that, if I choose to tell somebody that I feel that I can trust about that part of me, then the public area, the bit of me that I know about and other people know about, gets bigger, and the hidden area shrinks. And similarly, there are parts of me that I don't know about, but that others do know about. That's my blind area. It's like our blind spot. So it might be, for example, that the bit of me that I don't know about is that I tend to always talk too much in situations where I'm worried about the conversation drying up. and other people know that about me, and they think, why does she always feel that it's her job to, you know, kind of keep the conversation going? And it's all right sometimes for there to be a kind of pause in the conversation, but I don't necessarily know that I'm doing that unless they give me some feedback. And if they give me some kind, non-judgmental feedback, that my blind spot decreases. I get to know about that part of myself, and I might kind of think about it next time I'm in that situation. But there's also a part of me that I don't know about and other people don't know about either, and that's the unknown area. We can think of that as being our unconscious in a way. And sometimes things happen that bring that into our awareness. Sometimes if you come for counselling, you can get to know about that unknown area.
So, the Counselling and Mental Health Service, we're based at Sunny Hill House. Come by, come and see us. We have, within the team, we have counsellors, we also have counselling psychologists, and we have 2 mental health advisors as well. We offer one-to-one confidential counselling support, mental health advice and support. We also have a drop-in from Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's first come, first serve, and it does get busy, so we recommend people come 10 minutes beforehand. We also do group support, so we do groups on dealing with stress, procrastination, and exam anxiety. And when we are running those groups, we'll advertise it over the internet, so keep your eye out for that. And we can also refer on to other services where appropriate, obviously with your consent, if you're happy for us to do so. Like I said, it remains confidential what we discuss within the team, within our one-to-ones. It remains confidential within the counselling and mental health team.
So the counselling service, we'll think about that first, then we'll think about the mental health advice. Counselling service provides a safe space in a quiet part of the campus where we speak to you confidentially about whatever's causing you concern. The service is free to all students who are registered, so you just need to give us your student number. And what we would hope is that we can explore together the issues so that you can get a greater understanding of the situation that you're struggling with and of yourself in that situation. And it might also help you to think about what changes you want to make.
And the mental health support that we offer, again, it's confidential, it's safe service, again, free to all registered students, and we offer much more practical and emotional support for students experiencing difficulties with a diagnosis of a mental health condition. So that might be depression, anxiety, bipolar, psychosis. We work in partnership with the NHS services and other support services at Middlesex University, such as our disability team, and we can refer out to external support within the NHS to help ensure that you're fully supported internally and also externally. We also help those who are experiencing a mental health crisis, those that might feel they're at risk to themselves, at risk to others, to make sure that we can keep them safe. We're based at Sunny Hill House. I'm not sure why the picture's not come up, which is just across the car park from the Williams building. Information, and there should be a map if you visit the Counselling and Mental Health website on the UniHub page there. If you have any queries, or if you want to talk to us, or if you're not sure about something, or not sure whether you need help and just need a chat so we can try and help you, we can work out where to go from here, you can give us a call, you can email us, you can come and attend the drop-in. Again, like I said, it is first come, first serve, but we're here to help you, we're here to listen. Even if you feel like you might not be sure whether you need help, come by, swing by and talk to us. We're here to help, we're here to support you.
And finally, we also have available to students for free an online cognitive behavioural therapy resource, which is called Silver Cloud. So you get immediate access to online CBT programs, which are tailored to specific needs. And the 4 programs that are available deal with anxious thoughts and feelings, depression and low mood, stress, and body image issues. And this is a kind of strategic way of working. So it's about goal setting, problem solving, and building life skills. And if you want to sign up, there's the link at the bottom. Free to all students, immediate access. So you've got a couple of options. If you prefer to actually come and speak to another human being and be in the room with somebody, then you need to contact the Counselling and Mental Health Service. But if you actually think that something quite strategic and goal focused that's online suits you better, then you have that as an option. Okay, so that's us done for now. Please contact us if you think we can be of help.
Thanks for listening.